Ooh, doggy, what is going on, beautiful people? I hope and pray you are doing phenomenally well. So, if you can tell by the title, I want to talk to you about how and why 90% of new real estate investors fail and how you cannot become a part of that 90%. All right, so before we jump into it, please go ahead, like, subscribe, turn those notifications on, all of that good stuff. All right, now let's jump right into it. So, there was a question brought to me about how many new real estate investors that I see actually succeed. And it made me want to go and Google what is the percentage of new real estate investors that actually succeed. And so I went to trusty ChatGPT AI to figure out what that percentage was. And according to ChatGPT, now take that with a grain of salt if you may, right? But it stated that 90% of new real estate investors fail within their first year of getting started. Would you agree with these numbers or not? I actually would. I've said it before. I never had data to back it, to be quite transparent. But I've noticed a trend in my 5 years that most real estate investors only do one, maybe two deals, and then they stop, right? But ChatGPT goes on and it gives us the top 7 reasons on why new real estate investors fail. And I want to cover those with you and kind of help shine some light on why I believe this is. And hopefully, by the end of this, you'll have the tools and resources or the knowledge not to be a part of that 90%, okay? And you can hit your real estate goals. So, the number one reason is lack of education and preparation, all right? So, I truly believe that you should be a part of a mentorship or a community, okay? I am not just saying that because I do mentoring, right? Um, I can only imagine when I first got started how much of a convenience it was to have somebody that had the experience, that understands the pitfalls, the ups and downs that come with real estate investing, right? Do not go out there and reinvent the wheel. I'm not encouraging you to sign up for our community, but find a community to be a part of, okay? There's tons of them out there. I know tons of phenomenal real estate investors who are honestly right here on YouTube, right? That are actually doing the business, okay? They've been battle tested, they've been through the ringer, they're actively doing the business. Don't go and reinvent the wheel. Find a community and be a part of it. Now, I will say, I'm a little biased, and we are the best community on the planet. We are the most impactful community on the planet. All right, so if that is something that you want, I'll leave a link somewhere below, okay? I do have to do that self plug. But number two, poor financial planning, all right? I know that you hear a lot of people say that, hey, you can get started in real estate investing with absolutely no money. And that is true, right? When I got started, I spent all my money on mentorship, right? So now that's kind of debatable. Could I have done it without the mentorship? Sure, possibly. But at what cost? At what end? You know, so I did have that money. And then I just started hustling, right? Started hammering the phones. So it is possible. I didn't actually take tons of money to get my first deal. It just took tons of hustle, okay? Now, there were a few things that I had to get, like actually pulling the data. I had to pay for that. But when you're getting started in real estate investing, I'm not saying you have to go and invest and dump thousands of dollars, but you do need to have a little bit of capital to work with here, okay? And I'll share this that I share with a lot of my members in the community. The less you spend, the more you're gonna have to hustle, okay? Because you can literally get in the game as easy as today. You can go to a PPL company, which stands for pay per lead, and start buying leads directly from them and be on the phone with sellers within an hour after watching this video, right? But that takes money, right? Now, if you very tight marketing budget or don't have much to spend, now we're going to have to do things like cold calling, which takes a lot more time, a lot more effort, a lot more energy. All right? So that's number two. Number three is lack of generating leads. Okay? You need to be talking to sellers. If you're not making contact, you are not getting contracts. I've said this 1,000 times. You need to be having quality conversations with their sellers. And there's three things that I notice that it takes to generate leads: volume, consistency, and follow up. What ends up happening so many times with new real estate investors is they'll cold call for a little bit and say, oh, this strategy doesn't work. And then they'll jump over to text messaging and then text message a couple hundred people and say, oh, this strategy doesn't work. Now they're on to direct mail and then bandit signs, etc., etc. But you're not staying consistent at one or two marketing strategies to get the results that you need. So you need to make sure that not only are you generating leads, but you're staying consistent with it. All right. Number four on the top reasons why 90% of real estate investors fail is they have unrealistic expectations. Okay. Although real estate is simple, it's not easy, right? Like, I think that maybe even myself, I'm guilty of this, making it sound a lot easier than what it is. There's a lot of work, effort, and energy that goes into it. This is not a get rich quick scheme by any means. Can you build an amazing amount of wealth for yourself? Absolutely. Can you build a very high paying job for yourself? Absolutely. Can you build an incredible business doing this? Absolutely. Okay. But you need to know that that takes time, effort, and energy. Okay. I'm 5 years in, and by no means do I have it all figured out. There's so much that I'm still trying to learn and figure out and scale and grow. And so you just have to have realistic expectations. Do not come out of the gate your first year and say, hey, I'm going to hit 1 million, right? Some people have. I know a couple of investors that have, but those guys are few and far between. So I think that, again, we just have to have realistic expectations here. Number five is not building the right team, okay? I heard it said one time that you don't go as far as you want, you go as far as your team, or something like that. I completely butchered that quote. But you get the concept, right? You only go as far as your team. When it comes specifically to real estate investing, real estate is a relationship-based business, okay? The more hands you shake, the more money you make. So you need to be building the right team of contractors, title companies, title attorneys, other industry leaders, right? That you can partner with, private money lenders. You want to have the right team around you, all right? If y'all are getting value out of this, leave a comment below, okay? Let's go to number 6. We only have 2 more. Market misjudgment, right? This one's interesting. So for me, one thing that I've noticed is that a lot of people, when it comes to the misjudgment of market, I find is biggest with flips. So if you're doing flips, if you're a fixer-upper, a lot of people aren't actually running their comps properly. They're not making sure that, or checking their days on market. They're over analyzing things or over improving things. So you need to really make sure, especially if you're dialing in your for flips, you need to be dialed in there on knowing what's going on in a specific market, in your market. Okay. Number seven, making emotional decisions. Okay. In my opinion, I think this also, just hearing this out loud, I think this goes hand in hand with flips. Most people, when they start flipping, they're watching Chip and Joanne, which they make it look real good. I know they do. Um, uh, all the fixer upper shows, the house renovating shows, and then you go in there and you start overpaying for projects. You're over improving on projects because you're making emotional decisions as if you're the one that's going to be living in the house, and you're not, right? This is an investment property, not a homestead property. And so a lot of people get really emotional and attached to these projects when they get started. So make sure that you are basing your decisions from the numbers and budgets and not emotions. Okay, so let me know what you think about those 7 reasons on why 90% of new real estate investors fail. I actually think they're very good reasons. And let's make sure that you are not falling trap into those, okay? So leave a comment below and let me know if you have already failed into one of those categories, all right? But we will be kicking off the new year with a masterclass. Be sure to register. It's going to be live. It's going to be interactive. You and I are going to connect. I'm going to be opening up the community, the Real Estate Corral Investors Network, for mentorship, taking on more members that want to jumpstart their year and transform their year. Again, our goal is not to have the largest network. Our goal is to have the most impactful network. We are a community that is built or that believes in building generational wealth by serving other people, right? So if that's something you're open to, click on the link. But I will see y'all on the next video.